welcome back. And I'm going to say a big thank you for coming, because obviously I was a bit nervous last week. This is a pleasure to be back with you all, and welcome to the Superyacht Forum 2021. We've had a little 2-year break, and ultimately, let's see what we can do this week. We've got about 500 people registered for the 3 days, so there'll be people coming and going as normal, and there'll be a great crowd of people, hopefully, enjoying some really interesting conversations. Next year is my 30th anniversary of the company, and more importantly, 2022, we're going to do something special and make sure that we deliver the best social program we've ever had to make up for this year and the previous year. One of the things I'm going to just try and make sure we talk about this morning, obviously, you know the title, but there's a few things I want to just reinforce. For those who've read all the emails, there's lots of emails from my team to you all. The message is very simple. We want to run very efficient conferences. We want to run digital elements to these conferences. We want to make sure that you're all part of what we are now calling a community. We've developed a program with a community focus, but also with things like the ability to join any of our live tour events across the marketplace. So this is the catalyst for a whole year of events we're planning under the Superyacht Forum live tour. We're going to Dubai next month. We're going to go to the City of London in January. These are really cool ideas. Marseille to Monaco tour. We do some Barcelona to Palma tour. There's some really cool opportunities for all of you to join these tours and become part of a really dynamic exchange of ideas, because we cannot discuss all the things we want to talk about in 3 days. We all know that. So what happens in this 3 days sets the tone for the whole year. When we discuss a topic at this level, we take it into a smaller focus level in a more relevant location. Refit in Barcelona, for example, or large yacht projects in Hamburg or Amsterdam or Rotterdam or wherever it makes sense to have those conversations. And if you're part of our community, you'll be invited and you'll be part of that conversation. If you can't make it, you come along virtually or you come along within the on-demand element. So we want to bring everyone together all through the year. That's our strategy, to make sure the community doesn't just come here, spend 3 days, have a nice time and go home and do their job. It becomes a continuous flow of content, communication and conversation.
What are the things that we think need to be improved and that we have the chance to improve between now and 2030?
They don't find the people to do the job on board. The owners are not coming. They're actually going.
You define your two-year-old technical specification to power off for stop.
One of the key questions we have from a banking perspective, if I look at back in 2030, is how the yachting industry can address the challenge to be part of the solution and not be part of the problem.
We're here at Superyacht Forum Live. fresh off the back of COP26.
Indeed, yeah.
What did you think of the outcomes from that from a Superyacht perspective?
COP26 was, there's been various people that have said, oh, well, it didn't go far enough. But I think it's always important to concentrate on the positives. And there's been no other event that's got together 197 representatives from 197 countries to talk about the same goal, which is to try and reduce the impacts on climate change and the greenhouse gas emissions. So that in itself has been phenomenal. And from our point of view, in the United Nations was very much the body that put in place the carbon offsetting mechanism.
Yeah, because it's been a part of the discussion since pretty early on.
Right from the very beginning. So in COP3, which was 1995 in Paris, was when they first put in place the discussions and the mechanism for carbon offsetting. And the objective is that carbon offsetting is a form of an ability to finance renewable and carbon reduction projects in the developing world. And it was very much a topic of COP26. How do we continue to finance the development of green and carbon reduction
technologies
projects?
have come a long way since then, or the conversations come a long way since then, but has that remained kind of in the background, or do you think it's still a,
the technologies haven't changed. They've developed and certainly come down in cost.
Maybe the way we speak about it
has.
Yeah,
the technologies at the bases are renewable energy, so solar projects, wind projects effectively are the main two renewable energy project forms of generating electricity. So that hasn't changed, but what has changed is the cost of these projects. They've come down, but they still, within the developing world, still need a mechanism to provide extra financing from the private sector, and that's where carbon offsetting comes in. So sadly the term carbon offsetting can be used with the term greenwashing.
Yeah, they get bundled together a little bit, and it's almost seen as like a negative term when it shouldn't be.
When it's not. Carbon offsetting is, as I say, it's based on a United Nations framework. It's verified by international registries, Gold Standard, Vera, Plan Vivo. So they bring that quality to the whole mechanism. It's very transparent. And so people that participate in carbon offsetting are supporting the development of carbon reduction projects in the developing world, which is very much an objective of COP26.
And I think that sounds, I really like the way that those two factors interact. But something I've noticed in the superyacht industry is sometimes our clientele kind of can almost treat their problems as if they can throw money at their problems.
Yeah. Yes.
And if we funnel it correctly, it's great. But do you ever worry that it licenses bad behaviour? If people think that they can?
No.
Or is that on us to communicate it better?
I think that from the discussions that we've been having at today's event, it's great. People are very much now focusing on efficiency of operation and the focus of reducing their consumption of fossil fuels. At the end of the day, for many years to come, there will still be a certain level of fossil fuels.
Yeah.
There's no getting away from that. And so we encourage all of our clients to do as much as they can to reduce their consumption, and then the unavoidable amount consider carbon offsetting, because it does give back to those projects that are supporting green and carbon reduction projects in the developing world.
And underpinned by the UN for the last
by the
22 COPs.
And we also say, I mean, it's great the marine projects as well that are being...
Because it's not just forestry, right?
We don't do forestry.
For some reason, that's where my head jumps, and I think that's what people often do. Yeah.
And forestry is one of those forms of carbon reduction projects, but the payback of a green forest project can many years to sequester a certain amount of carbon linked to the operation of a superyacht. So it doesn't necessarily give a good balance between the world of superyachting, which is why we support renewable energy projects. And And there are marine projects out there as well, but what we encourage our clients to do is do the carbon offsetting through the mechanism of the carbon credits, and then also think about making an additional contribution to some of these fantastic marine projects, such as the Blue Marine Foundation in the UK is developing over and above the carbon offsetting.
So much like the conversations we've had over the last couple of days
Yes.
here, it's a multiple kind of different streams that come together into
Exactly.
a solution. It's not one thing.
There's no
equals
one right answer. There is it's a whole jigsaw and options of solutions.
And offsetting is one part of that.
Yeah, exactly.
As you've seen from some of the sessions this morning, there's been a really heavy focus on sustainability. And the session we just had, next generation of fuels, consumption, all these big ticket items. From what I've seen, you and the team at Cantheri have had some fairly interesting developments in terms of your infrastructure and
Yep.
kind of thinking ahead.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I never even told you.
What haven't you told us?
All the buildings that we've created, these fancy sort of thing, they're all recyclable.
The building itself is?
Yeah, 98% of it by weight is actually recyclable. Because it's wood, steel and aluminium. And it's really easy.
And the other component to that is you've got energy capture and heat recycling and actually so construction out of recyclable materials is one thing, but the energy footprint of a building can be huge, irrespective of what it's made of.
Yeah.
So I guess that was the other factor, and from what I understand, you've tried to integrate some different solutions there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. In the first of all, you can't have energy efficiency unless you have insulation.
Well, as we've encountered in Britain,
there's nothing unique about that. There's nothing clever about it. You've got to be properly insulated. Now, when you start looking within the industry, and we're concentrating on repainting. Well, what do? They put up a bit of shrink wrap, 300.
Pump the fans on,
and heating it up with either usually gas or diesel heaters, both fossil fuel burners, right? And wasting.
And when does everyone get
When
does everyone get the boats painted? Over winter.
Yeah, the worst possible time.
Worst possible time.
So we've got buildings that are quite big volume because so we can put the boat inside.
Up to about 55 metres, I think. Was that the shed length?
Oh no, the internal length is 64 metres.
Sure.
But it's the height. It's just over 21 metres.
Because then you can keep the mast on, right, on a motorboat.
Yeah, which is quite a big thing.
Yeah, big job to take it off.
It's a big and risky job to take it
Yeah.
off. So when we heat up, one, it's properly insulated, 15 centimetres rock all the way around. But second, we use a geothermal heating system. It's like a reverse heat pump, like with air conditioning where it can heat and cool.
Yeah, well, because you have ground-based heat storage, right? So it brings it in and out.
Yes, exactly. Ground-based is what typically happens. We're using water-based, so we actually pump the water from the harbour, even in the winter. Yeah, the temperature there is about 13 Celsius, but it extracts all those calories, and it's almost magical. It uses electricity, but all of the electricity we use is on a renewable contract, so there's zero carbon there. We put it through the refrigeration plant. It's ultra advanced, but ultra old idea. The refrigerant is not one of these synthetic freon gases.
CFCs or
all of them have
horrible stuff, yeah.
Ozone depleting potential. No, ours is ammonia. Now, people who aren't familiar with it might go, oh, ammonia, that's terrible, that
smells bad.
It smells bad, it's what you put down the toilet, or that's how you become blonde-haired.
Yeah.
But no, it's a natural subject, a natural chemical. It's there in nature. Yeah? It's actually more thermally efficient than any of these artificial gases, and more important for someone like me from Yorkshire, it's cheap. Yeah? So you get the best of all worlds there.
I have to be 100% honest with you. I was dubious when I read it, but that you said that it's a net zero process.
Yep.
Painting a boat.
Yeah.
You haven't done it yet, but you believe that's true? Is that from calculations?
No. We have done it actually, but it's net, well, first of all, the building is made from wood.
Which is significant.
So you start off with negative carbon.
Okay.
Because unlike, say, concrete and steel, which have got huge embedded CO2
Yeah, was it 20%
in
of CO2 emissions comes from concrete? Yeah.
Our material has spent its entire lifetime sucking, carbon capture, right? So we actually start off negative. But even if I don't count that, no, what I meant was all the energy use in that shed is zero carbon because it's either on a renewable electric. We couldn't possibly generate the electricity on site for that. Be it solar or wind or whatever. It's impossible.
You say you want to take it off a cleaner grid.
Yeah. So, we subscribe to renewable sources, and we're extremely energy efficient. I think it would be almost, with current technology, impossible to be more energy efficient than us. So, and none of that process produces carbon dioxide. Zero, absolutely none.
Well, we'll be interested to see. Your guess of 200 years? Well, let's hope that it is that and maybe some more. And we'll be interested to come visit and see how everything looks once you get the whole facility done.
Jack, come and visit us in less than 200 years, please.
I'll try.